Hello dear students, welcome back to Coordination Compounds Part 5. In this video, you will be learning crystal field theory or ligand field theory, its postulates, spectrochemical series and crystal field splitting in octahedral complexes as well as tetrahedral complexes, and finally limitations of crystal field theory. Dear students, in the previous video, we learned valence bond theory in detail, which is one of the most important part for your board exam. Let us begin our today's session with crystal field theory or ligand field theory postulates. Dear students, the central metal atom in coordination complexes is surrounded by number of anionic or neutral ligands. And in the complex, the ligands are considered as point charges if it is anionic or negatively charged ligand. And if the ligand is neutral, it is considered as dipole, where there is a presence of equal quantity of positive and negative charges. The bonding between metal cation and ligand arises due to electrostatic interaction. Thus, the bond between the metal and ligand formed, that is a coordinate bond, which is purely ionic in nature. And also the interaction between electrons of the metal cation and those of ligands is entirely repulsive. These repulsive forces are responsible for splitting of 5 d orbitals of metal cation, and the splitting of 5 degenerate d orbitals or equal energy d orbitals of metal ion into two sets of different energies under the influence of approaching ligand is known as crystal field splitting. The 5d orbitals are dx square minus y square dz square, where the lobes of d orbital are along the axis. Whereas in case of other three, that is dxy, dyz and dxz, there the lobes of d orbital are in between the axis. Due to this reason, there is a splitting of 5 degenerate d orbitals. The three orbitals, that is dxy, yz, zx, which are oriented in between the coordinate axis, are called T2g orbitals in octahedral complexes, whereas the other two orbitals, dx square minus y square and dz square, which are oriented along the axis, are known as Eg orbitals in octahedral complexes. The same set of 3 and set of 2 in case of tetrahedral, they are known as T2 and E orbitals, where T2g is triplet of degenerate d orbitals and Eg is doublet of degenerate d orbitals. Moving further, continuation postulates. The extent to which energies of these two set of orbitals are split is called crystal field splitting energy or crystal field stabilization energy, and it is denoted by delta. In case of octahedral complexes, it is delta naught or delta O, and in case of tetrahedral complexes, it is delta T. The crystal field splitting energy, that is delta, is measured in differential charge dq, and the magnitude is arbitrarily fixed, that is delta is equal to 10 dq. The pattern of splitting also depends upon the nature of ligand. If it is a strong field ligand, then greater crystal field splitting is observed, whereas if it is a weak field ligand, lesser crystal field splitting is observed. Moving further, spectrochemical series. These are experimentally observed some of the ligands which are going to act as strong and weak field ligands. Some ligands can produce strong field in which the splitting will be large, whereas other produce weak field and consequently results in smaller splitting of d orbitals. The series is in the increasing order of field strength. You can observe the series here. I minus, Br minus, SCN minus, Cl minus, it goes on increasing to NH3, En, that is ethane 1,2-diamine, Cn minus and CO. Dear students, you can observe here the negatively charged ligands are at the extreme end. The halogen atoms are at the lower crystal field strength than compared to neutral and other ligands. This is the series which is experimentally determined series based on the absorption of light by complexes with different ligands. Let us assign some of the d orbital electrons of octahedral complexes. We get first 3 d electrons occupy singly in the lower energy T2g orbital. This is in accordance with Hund's rule. So according to Hund's rule, electrons are singly occupied first, then go for pairing, irrespective of the nature of ligand. That means the 3 d orbital electrons are represented as T1 2g E0 g, T2 2g E0 g, T3 2g E0 g, where it is T2g Eg level representation. The first 3 electrons are going to occupy T2g, that is lower energy levels in octahedral complex. Moving further, the 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th electrons are going to enter into higher orbitals, or they go for pairing depending upon the nature of ligand. In case of strong field ligand, where delta naught is greater than P, where P is pairing energy. When pairing energy is very less, the expectations of pairing is met by the electron. Remember, the pairing energy, it is the amount of energy required to pair the electron, which is less than compared to the available octahedral energy. Hence, the electron undergoes pairing with respect to available lower T2g orbitals, leading to the formation of the electronic configuration T4 2g E0 g. Instead of strong field, if it is a weak field ligand, where the energy required to pair the electron is more, hence the electron is not going to meet the expectation for the pairing. It goes to higher available orbital, that is Eg level. So the electronic configuration for weak field ligand is T3 2g E1 g, where Eg is a higher energy level and the electron enters to higher energy level, which can be observed for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th electron, and where P is pairing energy. Remember, in a strong field ligand there is a forced pairing of electron takes place, whereas in weak field ligand no forced pairing of electrons, leading to the formation of singly occupied electrons. Next, the 8th, 9th and 10th electrons are not affected by strong or weak field ligands. The same pattern is to be followed for tetrahedral complexes also. We understand the concept in detail. Effect of ligand on d orbitals electron in octahedral complex. It may be weak or strong field ligand for d1, d2 and d3 electronic system, where dxy, dyz and dzx, which are lie at the lower energy level in octahedral complexes, whereas dx square minus y square and dz square at higher energy level. Hence the first electron enters into available lower energy level. The second electron also enters into lower available T2g orbital. Similarly for third electron also. Remember here, the ligand nature is not affecting the entry of electron. For fourth electron, if it is a weak field ligand, then no forced pairing of electron takes place. Hence, the electron enters into higher available orbital, giving 4 half-filled orbitals. Instead of weak field, if it is a strong field ligand, then pairing of electron takes place, as the nature of strong field ligand is forced pairing. The fifth electron in case of weak field again goes to higher available orbital, whereas in case of strong field ligand it goes for pairing. The same pattern is observed for even 6th and 7th electrons. Now the 8th electron is not affected again with respect to the nature of ligand. The 8th electron, 9th electron and the 10th electrons are not affecting the nature of the ligand. And the same kind of pattern is followed for tetrahedral complexes. In tetrahedral complexes, dx square minus y square will be at lower energy level and xy, yz and zx will be in the higher position. Moving further, crystal field splitting in octahedral complexes. Dear students, these are the two orbitals dx square minus y square and dz square which are having a lobes of d orbital along the axis of x, y and z. If there is a presence of ligand and which are approaching the central metal atom along the axis, the axial orbitals experience more repulsive interaction. Hence, to pair there is a greater energy requirement. Hence, these orbitals show higher repulsive interaction and move to higher energy level in case of octahedral complexes. Remember, ligand approach central metal atom along the axis in octahedral complexes, whereas the other three orbitals which are having the lobes in between the axis, that is dxy, dyz and dzx, where the ligand is approaching along the axis but the lobes which are having the electron, they are not at their entry position. Hence, the orbitals which are having lobes in between, they are not much affected by ligands. Hence, they goes to lower available T2G level. We understand the entry or the attack of ligand to central metal atom. These are the 5d orbitals dxy, yz, zx, dx square minus y square and z square. When there is approach of ligand and the metal is ready to undergo hybridization, it goes to higher degenerate d orbital in which all the 5d orbitals are having equal energy. There is a possibility of splitting of these 5d orbitals into T2g and Eg orbitals, and the average energy is also known as barycenter. The three orbitals dxy, dyz and dzx which are in between the axis and the ligand is approaching along the axis, they are not much affected by the ligand and enters into lower available T2g orbital, whereas the other two orbitals dx square minus y square and dz square which are along the axis, they are much affected by the ligand, as ligand is approaching the central metal atom along the axis and they move to higher available Eg level. The energy difference between these two from barycenter is 0.6 dq and 0.4 dq, or plus 3 by 5 and minus 2 by 5. Here the positive and negative charges or the magnitude is indicating the increase or the decrease in the energy. So the total splitting in octahedral complexes, it is denoted as delta O or delta naught, and this is 10 dq or 1 dq, and the energy gap between these is known as crystal field splitting energy or crystal field stabilization energy. You can understand with this picture where metal is surrounded by ligands in octahedral complexes. Moving further, crystal field splitting in tetrahedral complexes. Dear students, here these are the two orbitals dx square minus y square and dz square which are having a lobes along the axis, and in tetrahedral complexes the ligand is approaching the central metal atom in between the axis. As these are having the lobes along the axis, they are not much affected by the approach of ligand. Hence, they split into lower energy. whereas the other three orbitals, that is dxy, dyz and dzx, which are having the lobes in between the axis, and the ligand is also approaching in between the axis, where there is a greater repulsive interaction leading to the greater splitting in these orbitals. Hence, in tetrahedral complexes, dxy, dyz and dzx orbitals split into higher energies as ligand is approaching in between the axis. We understand this by the approach of ligand to central metal atom, which is having d orbitals. In presence of approaching ligand, these 5d orbital goes to higher degenerate d orbital or equivalent d orbitals. When the ligand approaches, they go for splitting in their energies, that is E level and T2 level. There is barycenter or average energy. The three available orbitals dxy, yz and zx, where the ligand is approaching in between the axis and the lobes of d are also in between the axis, there is a greater repulsive interaction where these orbitals enter into higher energy level or T2 level. The other two orbitals dx square minus y square and dz square, they are along the axis, and those orbitals are going to take lower position as ligand is approaching from in between the axis. The energy gap between these two is 0.4 dq and 0.6 dq, or plus 2 by 5 and minus 3 by 5. The magnitude here mentioned plus and minus, it is just indicating the increase or decrease in the energy, and the total energy difference between the available two orbitals is delta T, and which is known as crystal field splitting energy or crystal field stabilization energy. Dear students, please remember the splitting of D level in tetrahedral complexes is much less than compared to the splitting in octahedral complexes. You can observe here the energy gap is greater in case of octahedral complexes than compared to tetrahedral complexes. The ligand electrons in tetrahedral complexes are not oriented towards the axis of d orbital. Hence, the energy splitting will be less than compared to octahedral complexes. The same crystal field splitting we can also observe in case of square planar and other complex geometries, but they are much complicated than compared to octahedral and tetrahedral complexes. Moving further, the limitations of crystal field theory. This theory does not consider splitting of orbitals other than d. And also, the order of ligands in a spectrochemical series cannot be explained on the basis of electrostatic methods. Further, the crystal field theory cannot define the orbital contribution in magnetic moment of complexes, as the ligands are considered as point charges. In case of anionic, they should be having greater extent of crystal field splitting. However, in actual conditions, the anionic ligands are present at the extreme lower portions of spectrochemical series. On what basis they are having lesser crystal field splitting is not explained in crystal field theory. Moving further, it treats the metal ligand bond as purely ionic, and it does not take into account the covalent character of the bond. Thank you, dear students. Have a nice day.